On this episode of Pimp My Setup, I'm going to be talking about your setups you submit for tips, tricks, feedback, and much more. So if you're interested in that, then sit back, relax, and interact because the show starts now.
It's time for the original setup show dedicated to providing you with tips, tricks, and feedback to pimp out your setup. Hosted by Matt Philly with new special guests every week. Coming at you live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pimp My Setup, episode number 180, recorded live on January 17, 2017. My name is Matt Philly. You can find me on Twitter at Matt Philly. And as always, we are joined by producer Tom.
Not a real Blue Jays fan, just like the hat. That's all.
Nice. Yeah, good. You just want to make sure people know that, right?
Yeah, someone can't wear a hat if they root for another team. It's just You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, because it gets people pissed. It's like when you wear, an Aaron Rodgers jersey, but you're a Giants fan, and people are like, "You're a fake fan." It's like, no, I just think Aaron Rodgers is probably the best quarterback.
Good. He's good.
I think he's probably the best right now compared to Brady. But anyways, let's get into our sports podcast. No, just kidding. Today we have 13 setups, literally 8 like always, and then 5 fast passes. If you want to pick up a fast pass to support the show, which is the best way to support us, go to pimpmysetup.com/perks. If you want to just submit your setup, we're 100 episodes booked in advance. Go to pimpmysetup.com/Q. That's QUEUE, not just the letter Q. And then other things we want you to know. Well, we have SETUPS.com, a Facebook group with almost 20,000 people now. That's insane.
That's cray.
Yeah, you post a photo there, you get some feedback, ask questions, whatever you need to do. Bada bing, bada boom. Other things you should know about, we have a Setup Addicts Discord link down below. I've been on there talking in voice chats. It's been a lot of fun. And I've been streaming a lot on Twitch, twitch.tv/swashin. Be sure to subscribe with your Twitch Prime account. You get it for free every 30 days. You get emotes, no ads, things like that. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, we got 13 setups to go through, like I said, so let's get right into it. First setup of the day, submitted by Lars. He's 17. He loves FaZe, Scuff, and G Fuel. He's a console gamer and a Call of Duty fan. He uses this setup mainly for gaming and editing videos. So, believe it or not, this is like your typical Call of Duty bro. He's part of the FaZe clan. Well, not part of it, but he's like, a big fanboy. He's got the Scuff Gaming, probably like the affiliate link and everything. He's also a big fan of G Fuel. Use code KEEM, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I know there's going to be a lot of people in the chat that are like, oh my God, he's a console gamer. He likes COD. COD sucks. But hey, man, I still like COD, except Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare. Those all suck. But Modern Warfare Remastered, let's do it. But yeah, take a look at this. My first thought was, why are you so far to the right side? Again, another setup that does not make sense to me, especially when you have triple monitors. You need to utilize every single inch of that desk. And by having yourself pushed over to the right, you're not getting the usability. So you need to center yourself. That's first thing you got to do. I'm just a little bit confused with that because your PlayStation 4 has to be off in that corner with all your G Fuel, pretty stupid in my opinion. I think that if anything should be very usable, very reachable if you're playing Call of Duty, and that should be on your desk. So that's like the first thing I would say. Looking at the second photo, the egg foam in the back is cool, and it kind of distracts you from the fact that the cable management isn't necessarily ideal. Having the Ryder where it's at, I don't know if that's necessarily the best spot, but if it's your only spot, then okay. But the cables, they are in one strand. If you wanted to keep it going and at that angle, you're not too worried about it being perfectly down the right leg or the left leg, then you definitely just want to make sure you use something like Tech Flex or even just a loom to cover it up so it looks just like, boom, one thing. And that's the other thing. When you are pushed to the right side, you're right up against where your computer would be with your right leg. So definitely need to keep yourself centered to the desk, and at least the usability in terms of your feet will be a lot nicer. So definitely recommend that. That is something you should definitely do. And then as far as theme, I think it's a little bit hard to kind of pull out a theme from this. I like the foam in the back. I think it looks cool. It adds a little bit of a dimension, but maybe try to come up with something that could go on your desk, or just maybe like a pop of color, something to that extent would look pretty nice. What do you think about theme, Tom?
Yeah, theme's tough to do with the slanted roofs and all that, so I think having the foam in the back is cool and all, but like you said, maybe something on the desk, like a couple pop vinyls of your favorite show or whatever.
They even make Call of Duty ones.
Even Call of Duty ones? Yeah. Might as well put a couple there.
Captain Price, is that right?
Yeah, Captain Price is there.
Yeah, they have
Call of Duty
one.
4, that's cool. Yeah, maybe something like that if you like Call of Duty so much.
Yeah, boom. Bada bing, bada boom. I like it. Straight to the point. Next set of the day is submitted by Daniel, who's 19. He uses the setup mainly for graphic design and a bit of gaming. Now, The thing is with this setup, I'm a little bit confused in some ways, but I think that for the majority of it, it's actually pretty good. It's not a bad setup by any means. You don't have a primary display, which is fine, and considering you're mainly using it for graphic design, that's great. But I'm sure for gaming in this sort of setup, it's a bit hard. Right now I have a primary with my two ultra wides, but before that I had just two ultra wides, but it made a little bit more sense because they're ginormous monitors. Here it could be hard to game, but I'm assuming you've already figured out that this is more than enough for you. So in that case, that is good. Also, why is the extended mouse pad so far to the left?
He has no room to actually move his mouse, which is what a mouse pad's for, basically.
Yeah, why not push it over to the other side? People are saying I didn't say the age. I thought I said 19. Pretty sure I said 19.
I honestly don't know. I don't remember.
Regardless, he's 19. Now, outside out of mind, I think, not bad, but like those few things, just for the photo, I would have at least taken him off. And then theme, I guess, is, he loves his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And when you guys break up, that's going to be really difficult to take all that down because, hopefully you use like tack or some shit because otherwise you're like ripping paint off the wall like, I hate her. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully you guys get married and have 7 kids. But really, the white theme goes through, the contrast looks good, not bad. I like it. The big canvas piece up above, it's not centered, a little bit odd to me. Maybe that was done prior to the setup. Regardless, it looks like a bunch of mopeds. Is that what it is?
Motorcycles, I don't know.
Something. I mean, those are, yeah. I don't know. Regardless, not sure what that really fits into. The right side under the drawers, kind of like cable mess. Having the PC in the center, not necessarily my favorite thing either, because that's in the way of your feet. I would have, dedicated to one side. And it kind of looks like an okay normal setup. Not a lot to do with it. We have squirrels on top of the shed. Pretty interesting. But you have any thoughts for him?
No, yeah, white on white is always like a weird thing. Like I always find it kind of like ugly, to be honest. Just like white wall with a white desk.
With the white wall, yeah.
If it was a different color wall or a different color desk, it wouldn't be an issue, but it just looks, just too white. I hate white.
Martin Luther King Day was yesterday, guys.
Yeah,
all right. No, really though, I agree.
There's a lot of white.
That's a good point. I like white and black setups when it's primarily white if the wall doesn't kind of kill that, but you're right. It's a little too much, and I feel like it's easy to get dirty. Speaking of dirty, next setup of the day is submitted by Aaron, a.k.a. AA Ron. Wow, you almost skipped ahead, Tom.
I just didn't want to go over the setup.
I know what you're saying, because literally when I said dirty, I wasn't kidding. Now, AA Ron's 13. His setup is in the closet. Come on out, buddy. I'm just kidding. He converted it to his setup, which is a smart idea, but judging on the walls, and especially under the desk, it's a dirty ass closet, let me tell you. Really though, he said in his email, hey, it used to be a family room, so there's a little bit of like scratch and like colors on the wall from people using crayons and stuff. But I'm like, yeah, unless it was the shit kind of friggin' crayons. I mean, I don't know what kind of crayons you're using, man. So, I hate to be that guy. You're only 13, so it's kind of like what you're chilling with. But I would be like, Mom, Dad, if we ever want to sell this house again, I mean, we'd paint it now rather than later, only because this shit's nasty. I would actually be kind of grossed out sitting there. Honestly, I know that it's really just the walls, but that's kind of just grimy. Even the left side, the right side, you see it all over it just looks dirty. Even the door itself looks a little bit, it just seems like a grimy, not super healthy place to be. So whether you want to like just try scrubbing the walls down with a little bit of Mr. Clean, or if you want to just paint it for like $20, I mean, I would do something sooner rather than later, even though you're only 13, just take your time. Super easy. You can't really mess up. It's just white. You know what I mean? But that's why I'm not going to spend too much time on this setup. I feel like it's hard to really overlook the room. I mean, you have a calendar, but it looks like you don't use the calendar. The pop vinyls are cool. If anything, I'd put that on top of the PC or something. I think that would look pretty cool. But it just looks like a normal setup. Nothing really wrong with like you as a person or wrong with your setup. I think it's just hard to overlook the fact that it is a pretty messy room that could use a little bit of TLC. Would you agree with that, Tom?
I can see that. And one thing I would do is I would Photoshop just the dirtiest, make it look a little cleaner.
Right.
Like make us believe that your room is clean, your walls are clean, and all that. That's what I would do if I was trying to submit a setup that had.
Well, don't give people ideas to cheat now, because now we're going to see like
the thing is, it's pretty easy to tell when someone's photoshopping is bad and all that,
yeah.
and then there's good Photoshop. Which then you did it, bro.
How funny would it be if like we just get a submission that everything's fake, like fake posters, fake. I've seen people try fake posters before, so
I can see that.
Yeah. Speaking of fake posters, next setup of the setup. Next setup of the setup. There we go. Next setup of the day is submitted by Alex. He's 25. This is his first PC and setup. He planned it out for a long time, and he's a huge Street Fighter fan. Now, I was making a joke. Spotlight too. He was, yes. I was making a joke because doesn't the one on the right kind of look like, since there's no glare on it, it's like it could be fake, but obviously it's just a photo. Really though, I love this setup. I think it's a great idea. It's clean considering it's his first one. I absolutely love it. I'll say the normal thing I always say. I'd love to see extend the mouse pad, so on and so forth. But my main thing is it is kind of like a copy and paste setup. Not necessarily anything against him, but it's an IKEA basic. He did a great job with the cable management. There's nothing really too crazy about it. Now, he did say he was a huge Street Fighter fan, but I don't really get that. Let's say he had a window open, he was playing a game or something. Would I know that? No, not really. He's got the cool poster on the left and right that I think are awesome, but maybe kind of streamlining it to just being Street Fighter would be beneficial. From what
I remember, in one of his drawers, he has a Street Fighter.
Yeah, on the left side, the joystick.
Joystick thingy, which is cool and all, but you can't leave that on your desk to show off.
Yeah, because it makes it a mess. And I mean, he did a wonderful job. He really utilized every spec of this setup, which is awesome. But I don't know. Would you agree with maybe just streamlining the theme a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean the posters are cool and all that, but maybe adding more Street Fighter posters like that, like the cool, I don't even know what type of material that is, but it's super cool. But you wouldn't be able to tell, like if I just had this picture up, you'd be like, this guy's a Street Fighter fan? How?
Yeah, like why even mention that in the email? You know what I mean? So that's just what I would say, but it's a great setup nonetheless. Next set of the day submitted by James. He's 14. He uses a setup for gaming, Photoshop, and video editing, and he was going for a green and black theme, and then he decided to buy blue and black foam tiles, and he said instead of changing everything, because LEDs are pretty easy to change considering they're RGB and you have a remote, he said, no, I'm going for blue, black, and blue, black, green, and green. My bad, my colors are all messed up. So I was like a little confused by that. I mean, it's not awful, it is different, but I mean, I think really you just change the LED color, you have blue in your computer and everything. It's kind of like, why not just go?
It's so easy to fix.
It's just confusing to me. It was almost like he got the blue tiles and he's like, you know what? I'm going to stand up to the hate.
Or he got for Christmas, he got blue and black tiles, but he's like, I asked for green and black, Mom.
God damn it, Mom. Like,
this ruins my Pimp, my setup score.
Yeah, he's like all pissed off. He's like kicking the tree down. Really though, I find that to be a bit confusing. The overall usability here is very confusing. Think about it. The snowball placed in front of his right speaker, even for the photo, he wouldn't just move it and be like, yeah, I don't use the mic that often, so I have it behind the speaker. Just confusing there. The one monitor looks like it's, extremely drunk, and it's, the other one's trying to bring it home after a long night. The cables aren't that great. I have more dissatisfaction with cables that just kind of like go out on their own, not together, than I do with a long strand all velcroed together. You know what I mean? Like that just looks way more like you don't care, you didn't even put any time to it. The shelf on the left is like half empty, half cramped. It's just a very odd combination of things. So I'm not really sure how to feel about this setup. I don't think it's awful. I think you have everything you need. It's just you got to utilize it a lot better. Again, with this setup, he's putting himself to the far left, which is fine because he's trying to have a primary and then a secondary auxiliary monitor, but it just seems a bit off. So I don't know if you guys would agree with that. Do you agree, Tom?
I just think the straight wires make it look really messy when it's really not that messy at all. Like,
yeah.
If
out of sight, out of mind's good.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind's good. Yeah, and the keyboard and mouse placement's a little weird too. So usability, like you said, is off. Mm-hmm. If you just clean up the wires, it would make it look a lot more clean, and I think it would give them a better score just overall.
Don't you agree? Like one strand of cables is better than like 15 random cables. So that's just something. That's just how I feel about that. And people are saying, why is your primary smaller than the secondary? Well, it might be a better display. It could be that he might like it, maybe has a better refresh rate. I don't know. I don't really care. But moving on to the next setup. Now, this is submitted by Peyton. Peyton's 18. This is his third time on the show. A little bit of a backstory if you've never seen an episode that he's been on before. I forget the exact reason, but he's basically not able to use his hands. And he uses his feet for everything, which is just still to this day one of the craziest things ever. And what's really cool is he hit me up, I think last summer. He said he was in my area, so I met him before. Really cool experience, awesome guy, and I'm super happy with the updates he's made to his setup, mainly because he had a lot of white still in his setup, and now it's all streamlined black. It has the blue, kind of addition with the LEDs and whatnot, so super awesome, really, really respectful. Considering he's able to do all this typing and everything with his feet. Now, I did this in the first episode he was on. I'm going to ask you guys to do it again. Right now, in the chat or in the comments, try to write your name with your feet. And really, just take a second to think about that. It is absolutely insane. So that is exactly why his setup is down on the floor right now. And really just, it's such a great setup considering how he has to use everything. So tons of storage. Really great utilization of a triple monitor setup and making everything work at the level it's at. He has a little bit of a theme in the back with Spider-Man and the comics and stuff, which is awesome. He has a TV, which I'm pretty sure he can use from his bed as well as at his setup. It's a really awesome setup. He did a wonderful job with it, and he really fixed the problem that I had, which was the mismatched color. So he has it now where it's good, it works, it's nice. He's got wire mold for the TV. The only thing I could quite possibly say, because I'm nitpicking and, just being fair, if you look at the reflection under the monitors with the LEDs, you'll see some cables and things like that. So that would really be the only thing that, that would basically be it. So other than that, Peyton, you did a wonderful job. Great work, and definitely keep the updates coming when you make any next level changes. So cool there. Let's go to the next setup, though, submitted by Isaac. He's 13. He said this is his first gaming / study setup. Now, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. It's, his first time. He's not centered to the window, which kind of irritates me just a little bit because it makes it look so off, you know what I mean? And it's just like the left side looks pretty open, like he could slide over. So I'm not sure the story. Maybe there's something to the right, maybe there's something to the left. Just a bit confusing to say the least. But I think out of sight, out of mind here really gets butchered, and so does usability and accessories and stuff, only because he has every kind of accessory he could possibly need, but I don't think he has the desk room for it. So if you want to keep your PC on top of your desk, you need to get an additional, they make the wider Alex drawers. You get one of those to the left or right of your desk and put the MacBook over. Well, you keep the MacBook on the left side, but you can put your Xbox to the left. Because look at the speakers. They're way too cramped in. They're half, I would say a quarter behind the monitor. You need to let them breathe a little. You have the room for it. You just need to kind of spread things out. So, the same with the fake plant and the iPhone. That just looks like really awkward, like it shouldn't be there. If anything, I would say, you don't have a huge window on the side of your PC. Put that down on the floor. Get yourself, some space, some freedom. Let the monitors, the speakers breathe, not be up against the monitor. Hang up the wall art, boom, bam, bing. Good. Now this, not good. Again, it's nice to see you tried, but at the same time, you didn't really try. You just kind of said, hey, guess what? I have a Signum. Bam! Just shove it all in there. Kind of odd to me. So definitely need to work on that a little bit. Give it a little bit of love. But, it's a simple setup that just needs to either be condensed or you need to add drawers and things like that. Would you agree?
I feel like he doesn't even need to. I think he has enough room underneath his desk to put his PC. Because if you put it all the way to the left, and the way his his keyboard and mouse and the monitor layout is, he'd probably have enough room to move his legs around and all that.
Yeah, but he's already got the subwoofer under there, and then it might hit the Signum. I just think, wouldn't it be easier just put it like to the side and it's like out of sight, out of mind?
Yeah, in a perfect world, you get just another Alex drawer or whatever and throw it right on top. But it's like, say if he just doesn't want to, waste the money. I mean,
well, I don't really think it's because what about the Xbox? Shouldn't the left side be just the MacBook, and then he could have it at an angle, and at least it looks nice, put it on a docking station or something, and then have the Xbox off to the side, because you don't want to cover up the top. Half of the top of the Xbox One is ventilation, so it seems like cramped. Let me know
if he had a longer desktop, it would be like no issue. You'd
100%.
be able to fit everything, but it just seems like there's not a lot of room on the desk for all the stuff that you have.
Yeah, which is a good thing. He has a lot of things, the iPhone, whatever. But that's okay. Next setup of the day, submitted by Leon. He's 15. He uses the setup for gaming and making YouTube videos. If you want to find him on YouTube, it's VZIFYHD. Now, obviously, he used to have a TV, or he's adding a TV, but I guess maybe he took the TV down and now he's just left with the VESA mount. So interesting. But nonetheless, I mean, he's really pushing the limits of that desk. I think those monitors are just about perfect, considering the size of the desk. Now, the downfall of something like that is he doesn't have speakers. Because if he did, he'd have to have small enough speakers to fit either on their side or just standing straight under the displays. So a little bit of a downfall there in accessories. The headphones need to be on a headphone stand clamped to the right side of the desk, something along the lines of that. The LEDs, it's cool, but I don't know if I'd wrap it around the left side, only because you don't want to see the bare LED. I think it would have just been fine to wrap the excess around the back. Bada bing, bada boom. The other thing that kind of pisses me off is the fact that if you look under his desk, he literally has a very long back panel that he can literally, and I mean this very literally, I'm not misusing the word, you can scotch tape the damn cables to the backboard. Bada bing, bada boom. You don't see them. It doesn't look bad, but that just shows that you really didn't try. You really don't care, and there was no attempt at cable management. So, no. Bueno, señor. Por favor, mis amigo. And then Tom's like, nope. Also, out of sight, out of mind with the controllers, the wallet, things like that. That's what would go in a drawer. You got to get yourself a drawer of some sorts. And I would just say, get rid of the VESA mount, put another poster there. Boom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's good, right?
The thing is, the color theme is off too, because he's got like red and blue and white and there's all these colors. Like he's got red headphones, red chair, but then he's got blue LEDs and blue like bed sheet or whatever. Blue LED, it just
it's a color splash.
Yeah, it's a color splash. Like maybe set on one color and then maybe try to go more into that theme. I think because you have the red chair and the red headphones, I'll go red because it's easy to change the LEDs.
Yep.
And the bed doesn't matter. You can keep it blue. It doesn't really matter because it's not really a part of the setup.
It's just a sheet. You could always change it down.
But I'd probably go red.
Yeah, I agree, because you already have, like you said, the chair, the headphones. That's a lot harder to change than it is to change a color on the LEDs. Yeah. So good point there. Now this next setup, staying on this photo. I know it's small, it's old. Submitted by Aaron, another Aaron, Ron. And he's 24, college student studying broadcast communication with a minor in film. He's an editor for a local news station and an aspiring YouTuber. If you want to check him out, PODUNK Gaming. Podunk Gaming. His first picture is his setup before watching my videos. And then he started to watch my videos and he made an update. We'll stay on that photo. Got a new desk, but he was still left with some older accessories. The monitor isn't really the best thing in the world, and he still wanted to step it up. So as he was watching, he got to this point. Bam! Now that is a nice setup. Like, that is a nice setup. And we have another photo that shows like the siding. You see the really nice poster above, just how clean and empty the room is, but it has everything he needs on his desk, which is a beautiful desk. You go to the next photo, the cable management is just scrumdiddly-dumptious. It is just nice on so many different levels. That takes time, that takes effort. That is somebody who cares about their setup, and that is going to be easy. If he ever needs to get in and change a cable out or do anything like that, it looks easy enough to where he can undo, unwrap, and bada bing, bada boom. Just amazing combination, a great setup. And going back to the first photo of his recent setup, I mean, just look at all the different accessories, all the different things he has, the overall usability. It's just a really good setup, a really good one. But if we're going to critique, I don't know how to speak English. We're just going to critique here, Tom, because you agree this is a great setup.
It's a great setup. I remember seeing all the updated pictures coming in and all that. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's got an awesome setup.
It's a great setup. Now, the only thing I would possibly say, two things. One, the piece underneath, I know it's going to be a bitch and a half, only because you have all your cables. And I don't think you have to change it, but I would just recommend maybe having it off to the left and rotated, only for leg room. I could just see that being kind of an annoyance, having that there, and it's like, it's full of stuff, and that's just one thing I would say in terms of your feet. But that only takes like 1 point off, right? Because everything is so beautiful. Now, the only other thing that took a point off, and this is really me being kind of just like very nitpicky, because it's such a good setup. I feel like I wish if you zoom in above the keyboard, right over in the keyboard area, don't you just wish that one cable to the right side in front of the mouse was just a little bit like, oh, I just want to like literally grab my hands around and just like smooth it out. That's really it. You know, like a one Velcro behind right down the monitor pole right there. But yeah, someone just said it best, man spreading. You know, Ethan from H3H3 would not be too happy about that, because he'd have to spread and then everyone would be saying that he's man spreading. But really though, amazing setup. And a lot of people are saying it looks like the desk skipped leg day, which I would, if you look at the first photo, it definitely looks like one of them is like, hello, like kind of like putting his leg out. Yeah. That's one thing I would say as well, but it looks like it's holding up. It's been holding up.
And he doesn't have a lot of heavy stuff on the desk at all, to be honest. He has really nothing. So,
it's a pretty empty desk.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's perfectly fine. I think it'll hold for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the lights, I think, are very interesting. Not something I would have thought to do, since I wouldn't be too sure about having just like the bare light showing, but it looks great.
Yeah.
It really complements. So, between the underpiece needing to be moved, the one like the cable strand going behind the monitors around the keyboard and stuff, and then the legs, which now the more I look at it, the one in the back I think is off.
It might be a little like slanted, but I don't know. I can't really tell.
That would basically be it. But wonderful setup, amazing job. Really, really enjoy it. Go check out his channel, Padunk Gaming. Now let's go on to the next setup submitted by Ryder. He's 11. Now he plans on getting a console rack because you look in the first photo, he's got his HP, right? So he's going to leave that on his desk. If you go to the next photo, he has that HP. And then if you go to the next photo, he has his DirecTV box, Mac Mini, PlayStation 4, all on his chair. So this kid's got a lot. He's got a lot. I mean, dude, he's 11. I didn't have a Mac Mini when I was 11. I had to wait until I was like 15. But really, yeah, something like a console rack, something to that extent would definitely make a big difference. Now, the other thing is he said that he uses his Windows computer for gaming and streaming, his Mac for editing, and that's it. Yeah, his YouTube channel is Controller King. Now, a lot of people are being mean, but this kid's 11. I got to give him props for trying. If you go to the fourth photo. Yeah, fourth photo. Cable management. Look at the attempt. You got to give him props there. He's got the power strip on the top left being adhered. He's got the switch. He's got the AC adapter. Very good attempt considering he's 11. Now, the cables, he said it's hard to use this desk for cable management. The easiest thing to do is to actually utilize the cross beams. You take the controller, his username is Controller King. You take the wires and run it along the wood. It'll actually basically hide it. And as long as it's a tight knit Velcroed wire strand, it'll be perfectly fine. But considering your age, I mean, you did a great job. You obviously care about all your things. You even said you want to figure out a solution so you don't have to put things on the chair. But you're 11. You're making use of what you had. You did a great job. You know, headphone stand would be great. You have two headphones that are just kind of laying there, one on the chair. And, you know, theme was a little bit difficult. I know it's hard with the hutch, but you did keep it very minimalistic, which is ideal. And it's a good attempt. Out of sight, out of mind's good. Not bad at all. You're definitely on the right path. Yeah, I mean, great job. I can only see your setup getting better and better. Would you agree?
I could see that. Yeah, he seems like he's a smart kid, and when he gets older and when he gets a job and all that, and he gets enough money, I think he's gonna have a good setup.
Oh, he's gonna have a lot of cool stuff. Yeah. For sure. I agree. Next set of the day submitted by Bradley. He's 18. He uses the setup for media consumption as well as playing games. He's a big fan of Marvel, and he's looking for frames to put his posters up. So it's kind of like I guess a quick alert to anybody that lives in America. If you have an AC Moore near you, then I highly recommend going there because they have $4 frames. If you ever see me stream on Twitch when I'm in my room, the photos behind me, I paid $4 each, and they're not. Do not get the frames that have 4 pieces that have to be pushed on. That is the awful, from experience, awful. You got to get one that's one solid piece. So if you're near an AC Moore or even a Michaels, that's the place to go. They're cheap. They're super cheap. And they usually have like 50% off frames. Google, Retail Me Not. They have great stuff. Anyways, yeah, that was one thing I was a little upset about. You have to keep that in mind. I took points off for theme. Yes, you have posters, but they're not up, so we can't really do too much about that. But you do have the pop vinyls, which look awesome. Now, another thing that we've seen in a lot of setups before, since you have a VR, I don't know exactly which VR it is, but they have, like, we've seen the Deadpool, we've seen Spider-Man. They have, like, banks, little coin banks, basically, just like heads, busts of different superheroes, and they put their VR around the bank, the bust. It's a great idea. So you literally can have you could have Captain America, whatever, and then you put that on, and then you could even put the headphones on them, and it doubles up as a controller and VR headset stand. So it's a great way to add to the theme and really just boom, makes it work. Now, I like that you have a lot of cool accessories and stuff, but maybe a controller stand or something that kind of props it up would be nice, as well as something for the MacBook. If you don't use the MacBook on a daily basis, then maybe like a docking station more so than a stand would be beneficial here. But definitely theme needs to be worked on with the posters. The cable management, you know, it's not the best. If you either adhere or screw the power strip into the bottom of the desk, that'll make everything a lot easier to manage those cables. But, you know, it's a single monitor setup. It's pretty straightforward. A lot of people are like, bruh, you need to get yourself, triple monitor. Otherwise, not a good setup. But I think it's a great setup. And what do you think, Tom?
2 PCs, I'd just get rid of the one that you're not using. I mean, yeah. I'm guessing it's the one on the bottom, the back right or whatever that you're using because it's on and all that. The other one seems like it's just sitting there, no just plug. Wasting away. Yeah. So I'd just get rid of it. It doesn't need to be there.
Takes up space.
And it's how bland it is and all that. But we know you have posters and you have to get poster frames and all that. So it's like, just put the stuff up there, get it over with, I hope it's good posters at least.
Yeah, and it's like posters of Barbies and stuff.
Yeah, like not even like no theme at all. I hope it's like going to the theme of your pop vinyls because if it's Marvel. Not like if it's completely different, then we might have a problem. But
yeah, bro, we're gonna take you out to the back.
Yeah, what up?
Anyways, let's go to the next set. It's submitted by Michael. He's 18. He currently repairs phones and sells them on eBay. That's how he makes his money. He's in high school, so really good job there. Anybody that is kind of like a go-getter is obviously a good person in my book because they're trying to get that cash money. But yeah, I mean, take a look at the setup. There's really not a lot to discuss. It's pretty straightforward. Kind of a little bit living room-ish, momish with that rug. Which, I mean, if you're into the flower rugs, that's cool. It's just not something I would really recommend. He's got a pretty nice collection over there in the corner, which is cool. Slap of the bass and a little bit of... Anyways, yeah, I like that. I think it's cool. I think it's a good spot for it. Maybe a little bit more in the corner, but the desk, considering what it is, it's definitely your grandma from 1919. She's... like you could have it and that was her last words and you're like, damn it, I'm gonna use it forever then, damn. But I mean, those speakers, they look like they got a face on it.
They look like they're ghosts.
Yeah, right, like little ghosts. And you see the cables coming from it. You see the cables combined in the back of the monitor, something I would have worked on. You don't have a mouse pad, something else, you don't want to ruin the grandma's desk. You want to keep it the way it is. Get yourself a nice mouse pad. It would look a lot better. Plus, he has the laptop stacked on the right side. I'm going to assume that's something that he's fixing and he wants to, sell on eBay, but it just kind of makes it look a little like but then he's got the drawers. It looks like it has all the stuff he uses, which is cool. Not sure if that's the best spot for the PC. That's why maybe I put it to the left side and then push the guitars back or something to that extent, only because it kind of takes up that valuable leg space. But yeah, I mean, a lot to work on, but it's not like awful. It's not like you need to throw everything out. It's just like kind of clean up a few things and then add theme and kind of like make it yours, which I'll say it. I think the flower carpet needs to go. But what do you think, Tom?
It's tough because like we don't know what his budget is and all that, and like what desk, like if that means anything to him. But really, he would benefit from like going to IKEA and getting like, you know, the drawer and all that to replace that little cabinet thing and all that. It's easy to be like, go to IKEA, buy a new desk, but we don't know, you know, their situation and all that. So I guess it is fine for now.
Yeah. But you're right. Like if he was to get that, he could actually keep that drawer, still get an Alex drawer, but the desk would be tall enough to go over. So you could slide it under, you know?
Yeah, and it would match. Like if you could just get a black desk or something like that, it would match it. So I mean, that's what I would do. But I know like sometimes people are just like, oh, IKEA.
They don't have an IKEA.
I don't have one.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I would have said anyway. So good there. Final set of the day submitted by Connor. Connor is also 18. That's 3 18-year-olds in a row. Connor is a big car fanatic. He's training to become a mechanic right now in college, and he would like to know what he should do with his cables, which, as you see right there, that's better than the last crazy Signum photo we saw. Only because if you look, it's like a very nice strand of spaghetti noodles going straight
it's like
up.
A mustache.
It really is. Because what I mean by that is it's not like crazy 7 different directions. That's actually super easy to fix. You get yourself some Tech Flex, you get yourself some cable loom, and just at least bring it all to one strand. Make sure it's not too much excess behind the subwoofer. You know, coming out of the PC looks great. That would be so easy to fix. And just kind of try to push some of the excess either behind the drawer to the left, or at least kind of pull it up and push it into the Signum a little bit more. If you do that, it will make a difference. It won't be the prettiest thing in the world regardless, but at least it will be one nice strand. And if it's Tech Flex, it will be carbon fiber, which will look nice. And Snazzy Q would be very happy. Now, the other thing that I was a little bit confused about is, I mean, it's a dark photo, kind of hard to paint the picture anyway, but the fact that you have the speakers so far split apart. One's super close to the left monitor and the other one is so far away from it. And then you also set up your rear speakers not in the rear, just really far away. That creates a full sound stage. It's not ideal. So first off, rear speakers, set them on fire or at least put them behind you. You gotta, choose one or the other. So you have a lot of storage and stuff. That's nice. But are you centered to the desk? I can't really tell from the angle. It looks like you're a little too far to the left. Accessories you want to add, like phone dock, things like that. Is that a sticker on the desk? What a way to ruin such a nice desktop, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not overwhelming. It's just there.
But stickers on a nice desk like that, I mean, I don't think that's solid. I don't think that's the one that's solid wood at all. So trying to pull it off, you could probably ruin the material of the desk. It just seems a bit odd to me. So not a huge fan of that, but I am a fan that you have a lot of storage options. A little weird that the calyx is taller, but it's not like the end of the world. It just seems like you need to center yourself out. And then I don't know what your theme's like. It's too dark. What are the posters? What is it? You're a huge car fan, but I don't see anything car related. I think it'd be nice if you got some car models and putting that on top of the calyx and putting it on your desk somewhere, getting some car frames, posters, whatever, do what you got to do. But I think that needs to be worked on. And it's a nice setup. You have the bare bones of it, and that's all that matters. So yeah, I would just recommend kind of like getting that part figured out. Would you agree?
Yes, I mean, I feel like because you don't have the frames on the posters, I would just take them down and get a huge canvas piece of like your favorite car or something like that. Something that takes up that whole wall so it looks like a blank slate just waiting to be filled. I mean, and you hit everything else, like, just try to clean up a little bit because, the wires make it look so bad, to be honest. Like from this photo, at least, like that little nest right there, it just makes it look so dirty when it's not. It's not messy at all. It just... I don't know. It's hard to explain, but
yeah.
I mean, it's pretty simple. It's nothing like substantial that you need to do to fix anything.
I agree. Anyways, that is all. That was 13 setups. That's pretty good. Now it's part of the show where we give the scores. First out of the day, submitted by Lars. He got a 64. Daniel, 66. Aaron, number 1, with a 58, which is very nice. Alex with a 94. James with a 60. Peyton with a 90. Isaac with a 72. Leon with a 68. AA Ron number 2 with a 96. Ryder with a 78. Bradley with a 74. Mike with a 70. And Connor with a 72. Really nice setup overall. A lot of nice setups today. Pretty happy with how they turned out, and pretty good. We got 13 setups done today. So thank you guys for submitting. Fast passes really do help support us. We do appreciate it. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning into this episode of Pimp My Setup, episode number 180, 20 away from 200, which is crazy.
Wow.
Find me on Twitter. I'm at Philly. Tom is at Thomas Philly, and that is all for today. We'll see you next time, bitch.